So this time, I actually want a response from anybody that's pro Metokur or anybody that knows anything about Metokur that have had like a bunch of time to observe everything he's done from his highs to his low. Well, he hasn't, I think, ever had any low. The peoples have never really had a time where they let him have any lows. Because in this social media game, the people are what make or break you. So you better make sure you say everything everybody says, or you better make sure you're relatable to the common person. That being said, recently there's been the whole tariffing between the good old US of A and China. I'm not going to get into the specifics of that. I'll tell you basically the TLDR. Trump thinks that this is the art of the deal. The art of the deal is supposed to make every country bow down to our whims, apparently. Because we're fucking amazing, dog. I think that's the art of the deal. It's a leveraging tactic, you see. It's all a 50D chess move. Whatever. That's not the point of this video, but that's the gist. TLDR, what the tariff thing is. Now, because of that, because it's such a good negotiating tactic, apparently, we have paused the tariffs. And randoms on Twitter say that the reason we paused the tariffs is so we can bully other people, which makes perfect logical sense. That being said, random Twitter NPCs are not the only ones that are giving their hot take on this. Well, is it even a hot take when you have Jim's audience? Jim has been the rah-rah cheerleader for MAGA while supplying people with Chinese products for his Chinese wife, which is kind of ironic when you really think about it. I'm going to get into a whole other level of irony in a little bit. But let me give this person its due first. Yes, this person did make some substantial points on his stream that made me pull back a little bit from becoming Midas Touch 2.0 or Adam Mockler 2.0. God, those guys fucking suck. But needless to say, he made some decent enough points as to why essentially the Democrats and the liberals suck and how we got there. That's generally the gist of it. It was a rah-rah speech. Our time is now. They're the enemy. The reason this is happening is to unfuck a bunch of things, which is, I guess, the easiest way to kind of like put this in perspective when people are asking you, how is, us stabbing ourselves on the foot relentlessly supposed to help, essentially. It's a way to unfuck things, as Jim would say, and that's pretty much it. See, not getting too technical on the whole thing, but from what a commoner like me can sum up is essentially, over the years we've invested in some global trades and whatnot, and that at this point is not good, and it's the cause of many bad things. So we're looking to undo that with Donald Trump's art of the deal. Apparently. I mean, come on, I know next to nothing. Probably as much as Jim, to be honest. But anyway, he's been doing most of the hype responses. Doesn't really go into any real details or facts. Kind of just, does your casual surface level take and yeah, something like that. He's a good cheerleader. Cancer cheerleader. But we got Moshi Moan. That's Jim's Twitter. X handle if you'd like to follow it, and he's always replying to these things with the wittiest of comments. And this one though, he just says lol triplet. Now, besides the fact that Jim is talking more and more like a fucking teenager, kind of like Musk and everybody in the Senate, every like well, Republican and Democrat Congress people are now tweeting on X like teenage women. Teenage girls, I'm sorry. I feel like this is the effect of what. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm trying not to go. I'm trying to take this seriously. Anyway, Jim has been talking more and more like a young-hearted youth. So this is really nothing too unusual, this response here. And then I gotta look at what he was doing, and it is in regards to this account saying that the U.S. tariffs on China now totals 145%. So essentially, she and Donaldo are going, back and forth on this. I don't know who's gonna fold. I mean, look, honestly, I hope the USA makes it out with this and China folds. I didn't say falls. Calm down. Yeah, but I hope it all works out for the best. Though I couldn't help but see a layer of irony to this whole thing, specifically with Daddy Jim, who apparently nobody ever seems to want to have anything bad to say about, or has anything bad to say about. Conclude that there are two reasons for this. Number one, people know that fucking praising Jim will get them a lot of money, or clout, and that's why they do it. Or number two, people are just kind of like scared and maybe kind of stupid. Either or is a valid reason. However, when it comes to this, and because I have so little investment in both social media and this channel because of the way it's fucking hit the shedder, I can say this. Jim has been selling you Chinese products because Jim is allegedly dying. Allegedly. I mean, Mersh, you know, that guy that drinks cat water or something, kind of like doubted it. And then Jim had like a mental breakdown and went on stream and showed a bunch of his like cancer medication, I guess, for the internet and broke down a little bit. So, you know, there's that. Anyway, so Jim has cancer apparently, and he made one final plea to the general public on YouTube's and around the world that he's dying. You should feel very bad for him. So he's gonna sell you a bunch of merchandise, all right? And you're gonna buy the merchandise so you can help his Chinese wife Jade in the future, right? When he passes away. So you kind of wonder. Well, besides the fact that fucking Jim is essentially sleeping with the enemy, I mean, a Chinese wife named Jade, and you're going so hard on China right now, and you're talking about patriotism, and you're talking about America, good old-fashioned Americano, all right? You just love the good old-fashioned Americano, them blonde hair, blue eyes, beautiful white skin, all right? Besides the fact that you're preaching all that shit to the heavens, all right? Let's not fucking mince words. Let's not play stupid. You have a Chinese wife. You are a traitor, Jim. You're already a traitor because of that. You dirty, 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 filthy traitor. Besides that, you're selling Chinese knockoff products. That's essentially what all of your products have been and are. Now, I don't know what the reason could be for that. I just know that there's just kind of a level of irony to Jim saying, let's triple these, pal, when there's this dying guy, right, that sells Chinese products to support his Asian wife after he dies. Now, however, he supports raising the prices on his customers to pay the government more money than his wife. That's the amazing chef's kiss irony in all of this. To be honest, the hardcore diehard fans, I know you're gonna hate me for this, but I don't really care. You're fucking stupid enough to be okay with this, or you might be masochists. It's okay. I've met, you know, people that are masochists. It's nothing to be ashamed of. You guys got a little Ricada in you. But, like, you gotta understand, this is so fucking stupid. Like, the entire... And nobody takes a second to question this because they probably don't want a reason to be annoyed with Jim, right? Or they're so, like, emotionally attached to this man at this point that they're like, no! No! You're not a traitor, Jim. You're shitting on China while having a Chinese wife and selling Chinese products, and now you're gonna raise the price while pulling on her heartstrings. You're a good guy. You're so above the grip. Yeah, I'm not saying that Jim is like evil, and I'm not gonna go out of my way to be like, I don't know. I guess there's some people, I think like that Shaggy guy, that might really actually hate this guy, or like Ethan Ralph that might actually hate him to, like, you know, the depths of hell. Nah, hate's worth too much. It's reserved for the people that are deeply scorn you. And what has Metokur really done to deeply affect me? Not much. He's just an annoying F-slur at the end of the day, really, who has some good moments and makes some good points. But irony is not lost on him. And realistically, Kind of like what I did when I felt bad for, like, you know, whoever was going to be affected by the tariff thing in the first place, and everybody's, you know, people just looked at it as, oh, you're not allowed to feel bad because then you're not cool. Okay, well, if Jim raises your price, takes your money by selling you Chinese products at triple the fucking price, well, that's not my issue. That's a you problem. I'm pretty much done feeling bad for, like, anybody, because anytime I do, it's always met with, like, ugh. So you know what? Here's one thing I'll take from Zaddy Jim, you know? I'll be like, you know what? I'm just not even gonna give a fuck. I'm just gonna laugh. Everybody gets fucked by their own devices. The only people that come close to an exception will be the center or Senny squad. Blah, blah, blah. My fans, if you guys didn't understand that. But other than that, yes, this is very interesting. Let me know what you think about Cancer Man's irony in the comment section below. Let me know if this is just let me let me know if this is me mauling. You're mauling. You're having a crash out by I'm sorry, I can't really take the internet seriously anymore. We have boomers in the White House trying to tweet out memes at this point. It's over. We're so fucking cooked.